It's bad enough that we allow females to become police officers, but then we turn around and we give them guns. Guns. Police officer Cassandra Dollard chased Robert Langley for 9 miles before he crashed into a bar ditch. As he was crawling out the passenger window, she shot him once in the chest. He was unarmed. She has had more police jobs than you can count on your fingers and toes and has been fired from at least 2 of them.
A Hemingway police officer now in custody after a shooting early Sunday morning left a 46-year-old man dead. His name was Robert Jr. Langley. The State Law Enforcement Division, SLED, says Officer Cassandra Dollard is charged with voluntary manslaughter in that case. SLED says Officer Dollard initiated a chase that started in Williamsburg County and ended in Georgetown County. Now, around 1:30 on Sunday morning, deputies with the Georgetown County Sheriff's Office responded to a shooting near Choppy Road and Schoolhouse Drive. That's in the Pleasant Hill community. Right now, Officer Cassandra Dollard being held at the Georgetown County Detention Center. A bond hearing is set for her tomorrow morning.
Now, new at 6, Live 5 has learned that officer was working for her 6th department in her career. And according to her training history, she had been fired from 2 of those. Lisa Wiseman joins us from the newsroom. And Lisa, we just gotten that training history within the last hour.
We learned that Cassandra Dollard had just started with the Hemingway Police Department just last September. She was previously with the St. Stephen Police Department for 6 years and left on her own accord. But she was twice fired from other law enforcement jobs, that according to her training history from the State Criminal Justice Academy. Back in 2002, Dollard was fired from her position with the Johnsonville Police Department for, quote, poor performance. Then in 2014, she was fired from her position with the Department of Public Safety. In that personnel change in status report, the director of public safety at the time said she violated multiple policies, including willful violation of rules, improper conduct, unbecoming of a state employee, and negligence in the performance of duty. We have reached out to the Hemingway Police Department for comment on her arrest and to ask the current state of her employment with the department. In the newsroom, Lisa Wiseman, Live 5 News.
Kimberly Potter. Kimberly Potter received 2 years in the state penitentiary for manslaughter for the senseless deaths of Dante Williams. She said she accidentally grabbed her gun instead of her taser. Big difference between a taser and a gun. A gun kills. On top of that, she was a training officer.
Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, officer charged just a day after Officer Kim Potter resigned for shooting a 20-year-old man at a traffic stop. She's now facing 1 count of second-degree manslaughter. On body camera video, Potter, a 26-year veteran of the force, was heard screaming taser before firing her gun, striking Dante right.
Potter was taken into custody this morning. CBS 4's Chris Martinez has the latest developments.
Former Brooklyn Center police officer Kim Potter is being charged with second-degree manslaughter for the death of 20-year-old Dante Wright.
The family of Dante Wright will get to have their day in court.
The young black man was shot to death after police pulled him over for an expired car registration Sunday evening. Police officers tried to arrest Wright when they learned of an outstanding warrant. Police say Potter, who had been training a new officer, thought she reached for her taser, but fired her handgun instead.
I cannot even believe it that this officer would engage in that use of force. They could have given him a ticket.
I never imagined this is what was going to happen. I just thought maybe he was being arrested.
Kate Wright, Dante's mother, said she was on the phone with the woman who was in the car with her son moments after the shooting.
And it was on a FaceTime. And she said, she was crying and screaming, and she said that they shot him. And then she pointed the phone towards the driver's seat, and my son was laying there, unresponsive.
Wright's death has ignited protests and clashes with police in Brooklyn Center and other areas of the country.
Amber Geiger. Amber Geiger received a 10-year sentence for the murder of Botham Jean. She mistook him for an intruder in her apartment. In actuality, she was in the wrong apartment on the wrong floor of her building.
Amber Guyger is awaiting sentencing after spending her first night in jail following her swift conviction. Jurors deliberated for about 5 hours before the stunning verdict.
We, the jury, unanimously find the defendant, Amber Guyger, guilty of murder as charged in the indictment. No outbursts.
The family of the man Geiger killed erupted in cheers. she sat silent.
And I ask God for forgiveness, and I hate myself every single day.
In testimony last week, Geiger claimed she had feared for her life when she shot her unarmed neighbor Botham John, mistaking him for a burglar in her apartment. Her panic seen on police body camera video. In fact, she'd accidentally barged into his unlocked apartment on the wrong floor. Perhaps the trial's key moment when Geiger was cross-examined and pressed on her intent at the time.
When you aimed and pulled the trigger at Mr. John, shooting him in center mass exactly where you are trained, you intended to kill Mr. John.
I did.
Now the emotional sentencing is underway.
Both of us shot, and then he died.
Late Tuesday, Jean's mother took the stand.
My life has not been the same. It's just been the most terrible time for me.
Geiger faces 5 to 99 years in prison. Her punishment will be up to jurors. Prosecutors are showing them offensive text messages and social media posts from Geiger's past, including jokes about a Martin Luther King Day parade last year and the meme about shooting to kill.
It's a sad reality that this community waited on pins and needles to decide whether or not someone could be held guilty for killing an unarmed black man in his home while eating ice cream.
Alfreda Fulker. Alfreda Fulker is currently serving life for the capital murder of her husband's lover. She was caught in a love triangle created by her husband, also a detective for the Birmingham, Alabama Police Department.
Triangle gone wrong. Something that happened very bad this morning. And as chief of police, I wanted to come out and let you know exactly what happened, and hopefully put some of your questions and concerns and community concerns to rest. Last night at approximately 11:51 p.m., officers from the West Precinct responded to a shot spotter call of several rounds fired in the 3000 block of Pearson Avenue. Officers arrived on scene in Germania Park and discovered a female had been shot inside of a vehicle multiple times. The victim was transported to UAB Hospital with life-threatening injuries, and this morning she's been pronounced deceased. The preliminary investigation revealed that the vehicle that this woman was in is an unmarked Birmingham police car. The victim was inside the car with an off-duty Birmingham police detective. It has been determined that the suspect and shooter was also a Birmingham police detective who was off-duty at the time. It has been established that the motive of the shooting was domestic in nature. At approximately 6:46 this morning, the suspect was taken into custody at her residence on the west side of Birmingham and transported to the Birmingham Police Headquarters for questioning. At this time, she's in our custody, and she will be transported to the Jefferson County Jail, where she will be booked on multiple charges, with the most serious being murder. The suspect has been identified as Detective Alfreda Fluker, F-L-U-K-E-R, 39 years of age. She's a female, and she's been with the Birmingham Police Department for 15 years and was assigned to the Birmingham Police Department's crime reduction team. Considering this involves one of our officers, we've contacted the Alabama Law Enforcement Investigation Bureau, who will be conducting an extensive investigation and following up on our detectives' findings so far. We've spent all of this night tracking down everything that we possibly could on this case, making sure that we had all of the evidence, secured the scene, and we were tracking the right person and bringing the right person in custody. And unfortunately, we follow every protocol to make sure that we're doing everything the right way. And even when it leads to one of our own, we're going to make the tough call, and we're going to take the right actions. I'll open up for any questions you might have.
Leave me a comment and let me know what you think about these deadly women cops having deadly weapons. What can be done to prevent more shootings?